All right, I think I'm live already. If you're live with me, let me know where you're joining from. You know the way I want. Yeah, I cannot give me exactly what I want. Why I don't negate all of this fact, and why I don't argue that there are certain things that only brand identity designers can handle, or only professionals can handle. However, when it comes to you just doing basic of brand identity, and it has even gone beyond the basics, right? What I'm going to be giving you today has gone beyond the basics. Excuse me. An average person only want to stick with logo, or they want to stick with their color. However, brand identity design is beyond logo and color. I practice I'm still practicing, right? But I've worked with quite a number of brands over 5 years now as a brand strategist, right? And then I discovered that one of the problems, or the major problems with small business owners, is that they focus more on the aesthetics. They focus more on the visuals, what eyes can see. And this is where I advocate for branding beyond visuals. All right. It is the strategy behind the brand that informs the visual. So branding is not just about the logo, it is not just about the color, it is not just about the typography. When we are talking about branding, we first need to talk about what is making it sound. So without a brand, there is no branding. And it's not a rhythm or something, but that is actually the truth. So before you talk about branding, there is a brand. And what is a brand? Brand is what you do. Brand is you. Let's say for instance now, maybe let's say Coca-Cola, for just for example. Coca-Cola is a brand. There is what Coca-Cola does. There is what they sell as product and as services. Now, how they now show up, how they show up to attract their target audience, how they show up to communicate with you is what we call branding. So branding is who you are. Then how you communicate who you are visually is what is described to as branding. So unfortunately, many people start with the branding, they don't start with the brand. I can go on and on to tell you what brand is and then what brand is not. But because this class is not just about what branding is and what branding is not, this is why I will just go straight into the work. So you have to understand it clearly. Many people that even argue that AI cannot, develop branding, cannot do this, cannot do that, they still do not, to some certain extent, understand what branding is. An average person, an average designer just want to help you bring the colors, want to help you bring the logos, the typography. Why all of those things are necessary? Those things are not branding. Branding starts by identifying who you are, what your brand does, how it shows up, the offer it has, for the target audience. What is the product? How do you want them to communicate with you? When I enter your DM the first time, how should you sound? When you're sending email, how should it appear? When you have a product you're launching, newly into the market, you want to increase your product line, how should the packaging looks like? What should inform the color? What should inform the typography? What should inform the communication? These are the things that we consider when it comes to brand identity design, not just the logo, not just the font, not just the typography. Why this is unnecessary? There is still something behind that we need to talk about. That is the brand strategy. And so tonight, I'm going to be showing you one of the approaches that I use, for brands, right? And then I'm going to share the framework with you. So I need you to follow me clearly tonight. Okay? I'm going to share my screen right here. and then I'm going to take you through what I have for tonight. Now, looking at my screen here, okay, looking at my screen here. Now, when it's come to branding, one thing I need to let you understand is that branding comes in phases. All right, branding come in phases, and for you to actually develop a brand. Now, let's say your I currently use, and then the framework is broken into different phases. The link is in the comment section. You can have access, to the framework for free. Now, the first part of any design project or brand identity design project is usually the discovery, research, discovery and the research phase. And then I develop this comprehensive brand identity design come in phases. And then the first phase is, and what happens in the discovery and the research? Let's say for a brand, or you are the one working for yourself as a brand person, right? One of the things that you want to uncover is the discovery. What is the business all about? What is the brand all about? All right. And so looking at this framework, the business overview and the mission. This is very important. And looking at this point, act as a seasoned brand strategist. I'm developing a brand identity for a company called, you put the brand name, which operates in the industry or the category, you put the category. Provide a detailed description of the brand mission, vision, and core value that will resonate deeply with its target audience. Might clearly differentiate it from its competitor. Brand's purpose beyond profit, including its social, cultural, and environmental impact, if any. Outline the company's term goals and how these goals should influence the brand identity. Also describe the internal culture and leadership philosophy should be reflected in the brand's personality and communication. This is very important. Now, for some of you, you might not run this um you might not run this point first because you might be asking that it lacks some of the questions that. Now let me walk you through and then we can see the first. Looking at this now, I am creating a brand identity for, this one speaks about the product and the service description. What makes the product or service unique and proprietary technology. Explain how the product or services solves problems or fulfill unmet needs. Describe the customer service experience and emotional benefits. Book. Also, suggest how this product or services should attributes can product or service attributes can be translated into visual and verbal brand elements. Now, the next one is act as a market analyst and brand strategist for the you name the brand in the industry. Identify a profile and identify and profile the main competitors, including their brand positioning, weaknesses, all of this. Can you see now? Now, you can start from here. I can start from here. Instead of starting from number one, you can start from here, right? So I can copy this one now, and what I will do is this: I'll come to Perplexity. This is Perplexity, Perplexity.ai. Currently using Perplexity Pro. So I mean, free versions you can do that. The reason why I Pro is for one reason, and the reason is that Perplexity Pro has access to the internet. It can provide you of the current information around a subject matter. So when you want to do computer analysis, you want to do market research and things that has to to do with you scraping the internet, Perplexity is best for that. And this is why I'm using Perplexity. So I have the let's go back. That talks about that talks about um the screen stage. Okay. Okay, I'm coming. So that talks about market and computer analysis. Remember, based on your discretion, you can choose the one to run first. All right, you can choose the one to run first. So let's say I just tab now. This is my perplexity, and then I'm going to paste this here. Now look at this. Act as a market analyst and brand strategist. Provide the brand, for the brand. So I'm gonna, let's say, skin stage in the industry. So you just, I don't know the industry, but I'll just write, skin care and beauty and beauty industry. All right. Identify and profile the main competitors, including positioning strength. I think this is one of the first thing that you even want to do. This should be the first thing you will do. So I'll copy this and I'll fill this here. Skin sage. All right. So now look at this. Now I'm gonna come here. Select deep research. Now, if you do research only, search only, it's going to give you, some information. But if you want to go deeper, do deep research. All right. So I can even say, scrap the entire, I mean, script. Sorry, has it scrap script? Um, scrape the entire internet to get industry, reports, mentions, or you can just say, social mentions across social media, and all of those things. So I'll just leave it as that, and then I'm going to hit on send. Remember, oh, I didn't choose deep research. I'm going to cancel that. Can you see now? Now it's going to give me, let me, I need to choose deep research. So I'll come here and then I'll select deep research. So once I select deep research, I'm going to copy this guy again and I'm going to paste it here and then I'm going to hit on send. So let's see what we're going to have. Now can you see now? It's currently scraping the internet, searching for gathering recent market trend, computer analysis, computer profiles, and social mentions to inform positioning recommend. Compiling recent market reports and social mentions to identify skin stage computer, and differentiate whatever, computer analysis, social, that's what's going to doing. All right. Searching the web for computer profiles. Let's just wait for that. Why it's, now it's still working. Why that is on start. Now remember, you can run anyone that you feel is the best for you first. Now look at this. This one we run first, right? Now you can go ahead and create this one, use this one. Once you use that one, you can now say, look at this. I think it should, in that one. I'm going to, okay, still researching. I'm going to read to make sense. Yeah. Now look at this. SkinSage will compete in fast-growing, science-driven global skincare market dominated by giants like L'Oreal, Unilever. Can you see now? P&G, and the Wave. Can you see what is happening right now? Can you see now? Now look at this. Skin skin stage current context. A search for skin stage or no surface a build in public Facebook post, about a full luxury skincare website. Now can you see now? I didn't even tell you to search the internet for my brand, but let's see where this is coming from. I need to see where this is coming from. It's reference. Oh, can you imagine? Actually, there is no uh that is currently skin stage. Now it is actually showing what I actually posted about skin stage. Let me see. Oh, we built and ship a full luxury skincare website live on camera. Skin stage on five. No, day five. Now there is nothing like that on the internet. So it just can you see the power of perplexity now? It just reference, right? That really makes sense. So let me come back. Let me come back here. Now, a similarly named Instagram account, Kim Stage, position and serve as online beauty. This one is just a related brand, not necessarily an actual brand. Now look at this. Market size and structure. Recent market report estimate the global skin care market at roughly 178 to 119 billion US dollar in 2025, rising to 190 to 190 plus billion in 2026 and 234 35 to 3, can you see this now, billion by 2031 to 2035, implying main single to eyes. Can you just see this? Now when you look at this now, it will definitely give you, when you look at it now, we have four resources here that is picking information from. So perplexity don't just give you an information that is assumed, right? Of course, it can hallucinate when certain things are not known, but to a certain extent, you can be rest assured, especially when you prompt it, that it should give you, you know, a reference to its research and all of those things. So it actually picked information from these four resources. Can you see this now? And their actual figures from industry. Now, Fortune Business Nigeria, Fortune Business Insights, right? And there's LinkedIn. So you have to click on these things and verify for yourself. This is very good, for market positioning, market research, competition analysis, and some of the stuff, right? Very important. Now, make concrete competitors. Now, these are the structural giants will inevitably compare against on shelf, online, and in the consumer's mind. So you're competing with brands like L'Oreal, Unilever, Shiseido, forgive that, I do not pronounce that. So there's P&G, there are other brands, right? Depending on how contextual you are. If you're saying Lagos, you can even choose some geographical location, and some of these things so that you get results from the people within your company, your industry. And you can also tell you that you want indirect and direct competitors. If Now when we talk about indirect competitors simply means if people are not buying skincare products, what are they buying instead? So these are your competitors too. They are your indirect competitors. It's just that they are not offering the same product as you. But you need to ask yourself, if the audience I'm targeting, if they are not actually buying this product, what would they be buying instead? For instance, now let's say you want to start a pizza brand, or you said pizza, right? And then you're looking at it. Um, I can't even remember any. Okay, let's say Domino's or Pizza. Now, Domino's Pizza is not only your competitor. There are other competitors like Chicken Republic. So if I don't want to buy pizza, what will I buy? Okay, instead of buying pizza, I will actually go for, let's say, maybe I want to eat good food. That means I will have Republic or KFC or McDonald's, to get burger and all of those things. Do you really understand? So these are your indirect competitors. Although they are not offering the same thing as you, but they are still your competitors that you need to put into context when building a brand. This is very important. Now, direct positioning competitors, the science, the minimalism, and the awareness. Now, closer to skin stage, likely territory as smaller, concept driven brand that combines science, minimalism, and awareness. Can you see this now? Now, Skin Island. Now, these are the people that are closer to what you do. There's Skin Island, there's Skin Tech, there's Sage Skincare, there's Surplus, by Iram and other skin influencer brands built around education, first content and ingredient literacy, demonstrating how a credible educator plus these are some. Then the social media and this a color square based on report on TikTok Q 2025 beauty ranking show. Can you see this all of this thing? Now you couldn't have sat down and start doing all of this thing one by one without perplexity proof. All right. Now key 2026 skincare and beauty trend. Can you see this now? Can you see now? Opportunities and threats for skin sage. Major threats, hyper competitive or competition and noise, algorithm risk, right? Then rising bar for proof and regulations with on ingredient safety, tracing, and all of this. Then high leverage opportunities, melanin first, skin specific science, underserved needs. Just go through this thing. Then there is the Africa anchor yet globally aspirational, ultra simplify, high tech routine, radical. Can you see this now? Now, specific gaps for skin stage can target. Specific gap, I'm rushing and I don't want to rush. Specific market can target. Now look at this now. Here are concrete ownable space stage can build around. Now engineer for melanin rich, urban skin in Africa and tropical climates, design texture and finishes. Can you see all of these things now? So let's move ahead. Now, recommended brand positioning for skin stage. Based on the above, a distinctive positioning could look like, look at this. Skin Sage is the first. Skin Sage is the science first skincare system engineered for melanin rich, urban skin delivery calm. All of this. And these things are just English. You can now the target audience digitally native 20 to 40 years old, starting in Africa, and the diaspora, who are overwhelmed by conflicting advice, battle, all of these things. Now, value proposition pillar. Can you see now? Three steps ritual, melanin aware science, radical transparency, awareness infused, how to capture attention and loyalty. Can you see how detailed information you're getting? Excuse me, let me check my internet. Oh, we are in Nigeria, so even with Starlink, I'm currently using Starlink, and even with Starlink, network can us up sometimes. All right. Okay. Now, how to capture attention and reality in practice? Naming and visual. Lean into visual language that signals modern clinical philosophical. Start with a single breakthrough, even something like that. Strategy, right? Make every piece of content do one of the three jobs. Teach an ingredient or skin concept. Show an everyday person using Sage in a real African or urban context. Then three. So can you see all of this now? Powered by deep research. Now, do you want to tell me that you are going to use this prompt I showed you now, and then you won't get something to work with, even as a brand identity designer? Okay, so let's go back to this. Now we can now come here and do this. We can now use this one secondly. Okay, we did this one first, so let's see. Okay, let's copy this. Then I'm going to paste this. So once that is pasted, so I'm going to do this skin stage. I think that's the only thing. So I'm going to click on send. While that is currently loading, let me come back to. Oh, I didn't finish code, but I'm sure it's. Or let me just finish copying it. let me finish copying it. So, so I'm going to come here. I'm going to edit and then put this and then done. Going on, I'm going to come back here, look for the next one. Now, before we now come to stakeholder perspective, now what we have done is that we have done market and competitor analysis. We just ran customer persona and insight. So we're literally telling that create a detailed and nuanced customer persona for message. The target audience include demographics such as age, gender, location, income, psychographics, value, interest, and lifestyle, and behavioral traits, buying habits, and brand loyalty. So the next thing I want to do here now is this. I will then come here and copy this. I'm going to rearrange it so it makes sense for you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy this. Okay. And I'm going to come here. I guess this is still loading. Okay, so here we have it. Now, skin stage sweet spot is melanin rich, urban Gen Z and millennial consumers in Africa and the diaspora who seek skincare as essential self-care, want science and simplicity, and move freely between TikTok, Instagram, and physical retail when choosing brands. Right? Below are four detailed personal plus how they should shape skin stage tone, messaging and visual identity. So look at this now. Persona one, the overwhelmed glow seeker, Gen Z, urban Africa. Now look at this person age 18 to 25, gender primarily female, but inclusive of non-binary and male user. Then we have the location Lagos, Accra, Nairobi, Johannesburg, often living with parents or shared apartment. Then income, lower middle, all of this thing. Now you can even take the point that okay, you also want to attract, people that are any high and all of this thing. You can always say that here. Now, psychographies and lifestyle should treat skincare as self-care and a core part of our identity. These are the things that you can literally build around. Can you see this now? These are the things that you can build around. There's personal two, personal four, and then personal. I think we stop at four. Now, how this should shape skin stage, tone, the message, and visual identity. Now, clinically clear, guiding, not preaching. Right now, the messaging lead with melanin fresh. Right, emphasize viewer smarter steps. Right, so integrate value and all of this. Then visual identity. Now clean more than minimal, able to, can you see this now? Now, color and imagery. Now, if you share skincare share with blah blah blah. So now the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to just paste the one I copied. Now, the next thing we are doing now is we ask you to develop a detailed description of the brand, mission, and all of this thing. So I'm going to just, okay, let's read. Act as a seasoned strategist, a brand strategist, right? I'm developing a brand identity for a company called SkinSage. You can also say, company, above or something. So I'll just, type in SkinSage, which operates, for a company called, so I'll just say in brackets, reference the information above because it's already in this chart, in this, in the chart, in this chart, something like that. Okay. Okay. Give me a sec. Please give me a sec. All right. So provide a detailed description of the company's mission, vision, and core value that would resonate deeply with its target market. See where we're coming from. We started by analyzing the market, and after we analyzed the market, we then told it to what to create customer personas. And then after creating like five customer personas, we went ahead and tell it to provide a detailed description of the company vision. Now, remember, it suggests what you should do. So by now, it already has your information, what exactly you want to do. So it will not be difficult for it to provide you a detailed description of the brand's mission, the vision, and core value that will resonate deeply with your target audience and clearly differentiates you from your competitors. Now, it says further that explain the brand's purpose beyond profit, including its social, cultural, and or environmental impact, if any. Outline the company's short-term and long-term business goals and how these goals should influence the brand identity. Also, describe the internal culture and leadership philosophy that should be reflected in a brand's personality and communication. So I'm going to hit on saying, okay? Now we have it here. Skin stage should feel like it keeps saying melanin first, science rooted, African born, skincare, all of this thing. Can you see now? Now this will now be your mission. Now, to engineer simple, clinically credible skincare ritual for melanin-rich, urban skin, so our community, can feel calm and all of this thing. Now, why this works for your audience? It anchors on engineered, simple ritual, melanin-rich, calm and all of this thing. Now, to become the most trusted melanin-for skincare and all of this thing. Now, your core value, design 5 to 6 value that are concrete enough the to guide behavior, not just with your website, your not just with your website copy. So these are the values. Your core values are melanin for science, radical clarity, intentional simplicity, cultural pride, gentle power, guided. Now, purpose beyond profit. SkinSage's deeper purpose should tie directly to documented gaps in how melanin-rich skin is treated by beauty and even medical systems. So there is a social and cultural impact, right? There is correcting representation and skin gap. There is the environmental and ethical impact that if you're interested in all of those things. Now to sum up, your purpose in one line, we exist to rewrite the science and storytelling of melanin rich skin, powered by African innovation, guided by clarity, and guided in care for our people and our planet. Can you see that now? Now, internal cultural leadership. Can you see how detailed this thing is now? Instead of you trying to sit down and then start crafting this one after the other. So the next thing I'm going to do here is this. Now, this speaks to the product and the services. I am creating a brand, you stated there, or you can just copy from here since it's already in the same chart. I'll just copy from here. Provide a comprehensive overview of what makes this product or service unique and valuable to its customers. Include features, benefits, and other innovative aspects of proprietary technology. Explain how the product or service solve the specific customer problem or fulfill unmet needs. Describe the ideal customer experience and the emotional benefits the brand should evoke. Also, so how this product or service attributes can be translated into visual. What I'm going to do now, right? I'm going to come here, Perplexity, and I'm going to paste start. Send. Now, once I'm done doing it, remember we've used this one, we've used this one already, and then you can also try to do this. Act as a brand consultant, can you see this now? So it is you just going through the entire framework and see which one that you need to. Now, if you are a brand identity designer, you might want to go deeper into all of this thing. But if you are just creating for your personal brand, you might not need to touch some things yet, but I will just walk you through them. Now by the time you like get to the logo part, now one of the things that I will tell you when you get to the logo part is this. When you get to the logo part, it might be tricky because let me just walk you through it. Now, look at the visual preference. Outline any specific visual preference or inspiration for, you put the brand name, include preferred color, typography, imagery, and all of. Provide samples of brand, design that resonates. Can you see this now? Now, you look at the key messaging pillars. Now, right? Now, identify the main messaging pillars or the theme. Now, of course, these ones are. Okay, so you can also we've run something like this. You might not need to do that. Now list the specific deliverable expected from the brand identity project, e.g., logo, palette, and all of these things. So you can just go through that, or you can skip this second part entirely. Yeah, you can skip this part. I will remove that. So after you're done from here, if you want to run this, you can. If you want to do this, you can. But if you don't want to, once you run this last one that says our product and services description, you can just come here. You can come here, right? Visual identity design phase, right? Act as a system designer, develop, blah blah blah. No, it's going to develop all of this one. Now the color palette, the typography, the imagery and iconography. You can run this thing one after the other. Now graphic elements and patterns. Develop, or motif to reinforce name visual, identity. I'm rushing. Now describe how these elements can be applied across packaging, marketing materials and so platform to create a cohesive and recognizable brand presence. Explain the inspiration and meaning behind this element. Can you see this now? Now, design key brand touch points for now. Can you see this now? Visual identity. You can just run all of this one. Of visuals, you then come to the brand voice and messaging phase. Now, what you are telling is that it should define the tone of your brand that aligns with your brand personality, such as you list them or you may not list them, right? Describe how this tone should be reflected consistently across all communication channels, including marketing materials, customer service, social media, and internal communication. Remember, I said it earlier that branding is not just about the color of the visuals. You have to take into context your marketing materials, your customer service, your social media, and then internal communication. Then provide example of language style, sentence structure, and vocabulary that embody this tone. Then the key messaging development. Develop. I feel saying many things. Uh, but does it really make sense for you? Now, you might not, if you are designing, you don't necessarily have to do all of this thing, but this is strictly designed for, or did I use the word strictly? Well, someone that is not a technical designer can also do that, right? Maybe if I have the time, I'm just going to, put the framework into two parts so that there is a quick overview and then there's something comprehensive as this. Because of include on the because I wanted to take you through the point that I'm able to generate the logo, colors, and then every other thing. But because I don't want to make this too long, I'll be stopping here. If you think you want me to do parts on this, right, you can let me know after you watch this video. Drop your comments and then I will take you through the visuals. But if you feel you can use the framework, it's fine. You are definitely going to get results. Now, I want to say something concerning the visuals. When it comes to generating the logo, now when you get ideas, and then once it gives you the ideas, just tell it to give you a detailed prompt to generate the logo from AI image generation tool. Now, you may not get it outrightly the way you want. So what you have to do is just go to Pinterest, get the samples logo that you want, then upload them on Perplexity and tell Perplexity that these are the ideas that I like. Give me suggestion on give me ideas and then the actual detailed prompt to generate this from AI image generation tool. Now, once you get the options, you are going to now copy that. You can go to Gemini, copy it and paste it on Gemini. If you are not satisfied, tell it to give you 5 more ideas. Just tweak it around till you get the perfect logo that you want, and then you move on from there. I trust you got value from this video. If you want me to do more, of course, I'm always more than willing to do more. My name is Adebayo Karim, and this is the scene of Zero to AI Confidence with Adebayo. It's a 20-day series, and the last series will come tomorrow. Anytime you're watching it, you can check on my YouTube channel, and then I've talked on I've taught on how to build a website, how to deploy your website, how to let AI write like you. So many things. We built website, we built our web apps. You can just check through my channel and then pick the one that interests you. If you want any other AI tutorial, kindly let me know in the comment section, and then I will do something about that. Thank you so much for staying, and then I'll see you on the back end.